Hello and welcome to Lean in Leander. I'm your host, Andrew Naudine, and this is episode 22 of the podcast. It's also the launch of the Dine in Leander series. And what I'm doing with Dine in Leander is I'm getting around to all of the local restaurateurs to talk about the culinary delights available in our fair city. I see the question asked a lot on social media, where do we eat? So what I'm hoping to do is get around to all of those places and introduce you not only to the type of food that they serve, but also the people behind those businesses. I'm sure they all have really, really great stories to tell, and I'm happy to tell them here on Lean and Leander. To start, I had an opportunity to sit down with Dino and Valarie Bullara. Now, some of you may know Dino from Sharks Burgers, which is really a great burger place here in the city. It's actually the first place I ate in Leander. It's close to my house over here on Hero, and I had an opportunity to go grab a burger one day at lunch, and lo and behold, it was one of the best burgers I've ever had. So I've been a fan ever since, and I've looked forward to this interview for a little bit. So I hope you enjoy my conversation with Dino and Valarie. I hope you get a little bit of insight into his business and hopefully make you hungry too, because I know I got super hungry editing this one. Great burger footage. Enjoy the episode. If you're listening, turn it up a notch. And if you're watching at home, grab a drink and maybe order a Sharks burger. Hey guys, I'm sitting here at Sharks Burger with Dino and Valarie, and we're going to talk a little bit about them as people who own a really great business here in Leander, Sharks Burger, which a lot of people are super familiar with. It was actually the first restaurant I ate at in Leander when I moved here. It really was, honestly.
That's awesome.
So we are all good with the COVID stuff, so we're going to go ahead and take off the masks so people can hear us a little bit better. And I want to thank you both for spending some time with me here. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you for inviting us.
Well, Dino, it was really nice of you to reach back out, especially in this initial effort. So what we're doing here is this is going to be a series for you guys who are used to Lean in Leander. This is a series called Dine in Leander. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk to a lot of the restaurateurs here in Leander, find out a little bit about them, what their business model is, basically, and learn a little bit about what they're trying to do here in the city. So Valarie, I understand you work with like HR type stuff here with the Sharks Burger?
HR stuff for both stores. I mainly work in this location on Ronald Reagan. Help out at the Hero Way location if they need help with anything. But yes, more behind the scenes than anything.
But you throw on an apron and flip a burger if you have to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, she does. She's a hard worker.
And then now, Dino, I know that this whole thing started with you, your brother Pete, and your nephew Chris, right? And that was back in September of 2017.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why?
Why? Well, we felt like, we all live in Leander, and we felt like Leander needed a good place to get a burger that was actually something that was more homemade, something that we were used to growing up. So my mom and dad are both from Sicily, and we didn't eat out a lot of burgers. Mm-hmm. I think McDonald's once in a while would be a rarity. But my mom would make these really nice burgers, and she put all kinds of stuff on it and different kinds of bread, and it was just like, well, we need a place like that because we don't want to eat Sonic, we don't eat McDonald's, we just want a good home-style burger.
So you kind of went an unusual route there because it's a Shell station, right?
Right.
It's a Shell station on Old Hero
West.
Way?
Yes.
Okay. Which throws a lot of people off, I'm sure, at least initially.
Well, the way it does, but it's we call it a restaurant and a gas station. We're not a gas station. We're actually a restaurant with a gas station included, convenience store.
Right.
But we started out. We were actually going to start with pizza because we're Italian, and we wanted to do a good pizza. So we were looking around town, and we wanted to have gas. We would do a wood burning stove, good Sicilian style. And looking around town, we ended up at the Shell station. So we went and looked at the little corner on the edge over there that was for lease, and we looked at it, and the owner came out, we talked to him, and then we were kind of, okay, this could be a thing, but we needed propane, and we were trying to work it out. So then we went back the next time, and the owner of the Shell station came out and said, So we had to go in there and get the key from him. So he came out and said, hey, I got this little kitchen over here, and we're not doing much business with it. Why don't you just lease this from me? So we kind of looked at each other and decided, well, with the build out being so much money and having to put a propane on the roof and all this stuff, we said, well, maybe we can look at this. So we found a way to make that work. Well, it wouldn't work with pizza.
Right.
So we just went to the next best thing. The two best things, pizza and hamburgers. So we went to the next best thing, which was hamburgers. And that's what we came up with. Hey, Mom made some burgers. Let's just do it Mom style. And that's how we came up with the burgers. That's how we ended up in the Shell station.
So Val, you've probably come along a little bit later in that whole timeline, right?
Definitely later, yes. I was still in high school whenever they started that. And now I go to UT, so I kind of...
Oh, okay.
Go in and out a little bit, so
all
later than the
So what are you studying at UT?
Human resources.
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Good. I think they have a pretty decent program there, too, from what I understand.
Yes.
Very nice. So hook 'em horns, right?
Yes, definitely.
You guys just stole our basketball coach from UT El Paso. I mean, he's the assistant coach with you guys there at UT now. But he was the head coach at UTEP, which is where I went to school.
Oh, wow.
And he was doing okay. I mean, he wasn't doing great, but it's still like, okay, we have to hire yet another coach.
Yes.
So that's crazy. Anyway, okay, off the topic. All right, so what I found really super interesting, and you kind of just explained it, was that there is that space right there at that same Shell station, and you guys opted, instead of converting that space, you went for more of like the in-house kitchen, which you see a lot in service stations and stuff like that. Which, again, as I mentioned, kind of throws people off. But I'm the kind of guy who likes that kind of stuff. Okay, there's so many little nooks that you can find that way, and the food is always fabulous. I've never had a bad experience in my entire life doing exactly that, because typically what I found is that those people generally, they care more about what it is that they're doing, because it's usually their livelihood. Now, is Shark's Burger your primary focus now? This is all you do? You run this, and this is your empire in the building?
Yes, it's in building, yes. Yes, this is it. This is Shark's Burger is what we all do now. So we plan on expanding. That was the Hero Way location was kind of a proof of concept.
Right.
We thought if we can make it in a gas station, we should be able to make it anywhere. So, it was a little skeptical because, 4 years ago, because it'll be 4 years in August that we've been open. 4 years ago, Hero Way, they were still expanding the road.
Yep.
So we were at the edge of town. Right. Nobody went past Baghdad. We heard all the time. Where are you at? We don't ever go past Baghdad. So we figured if we make it there, we'd make it. So we actually survived, and we did well. And our dream was to have a sit down like this, and that's how we expanded. But yes, we're 100% Shark.
So what I can tell you from my experience, and this is an honest truth, this is a true story. I live in Caneros Ranch, which is right behind you. Okay, so we moved in 2018, and I work from home. I'm in technical sales, and I do SaaS stuff, and I'm an entrepreneur. Right. I'm more entrepreneur than anything else. But I was sitting there one afternoon, and it was lunchtime, and I went to the kitchen to get myself something to eat, and I didn't have anything. I was just like, man, I don't want to go to the grocery store. I was like, well, what about that little place? And so I called, and I placed an order, went and picked it up, and brought it home, and really had, moderate expectations, to be completely frank. I was like, it's probably a pretty good burger. Can't remember which. Oh, I do remember which one I ordered. It was at the time you had the Poblano burger with the New Mexico chilies. That's what took me there, and I was like, "Holy cow! This is a great burger." I mean, it was delicious. I have a culinary background from when I was in the hospitality industry. Okay, and bread is the secret to any sandwich. Okay, right. So I was like, "This is well constructed. It didn't get soggy. It was really, really a good, solid sandwich." And then you guys had tater tots, which put you over the top.
Tater tots are my favorite.
Tater tots are the best.
Too, right?
I mean, why eat French fries? You got tater tots. Exactly. They're great. Anyway, but I just wanted to share that with you. So I've been a fan from way back then. And I kind of watched it, and I watched when you guys came over here, and I was like, this is great. So I've really wanted to talk to you for a long time. So historically, you did do Italian before, right?
Yes.
It was Caruso's.
Caruso's,
right?
yes, Italian restaurant. And
Now that wasn't your restaurant; you were managing that restaurant,
no,
right?
that was our restaurant.
That was your
It
restaurant.
was the same three. It was myself, my brother Pete, and Chris, our chef.
Okay.
So we had an opportunity actually in Del Rio, Texas, believe it or not.
Okay.
It was on the Lake Amistad, and there was a little resort out there, and they wanted a restaurant out there. At the time, my brother, partner, Pete, was working at Kimberly-Clark. He worked there for 30 years, so that was his side thing, the Caruso's. But Chris and I ran the Caruso's, and we did some Italian food, and we did very, very well. And the problem was Del Rio.
Uh-huh.
So we were from Austin,
Right.
and we were from this area. We just, after a couple of years, we did really well, and we were going to sell the business. We decided to sell the business. We're actually going to open another location. Then we kind of backed off, and we said, you know what, we're going back to Austin. We just kind of sold the restaurant and moved on, and came back to Austin.
Interesting. The way I read that in your bio and stuff that I looked up, it seemed like that might have been a side business for you at that point in time. But you were actually running another
Yes,
restaurant
we were
before.
running another
That was
restaurant.
like a good 3 years that you ran
Yes.
that one, right? And then you kind of worked for HEB for a while.
Yeah, and then we came back to Austin, and I went back to work for HEB because I'd worked for them before. And I was a food service deli manager, and I worked for them for many, many years, got transferred, kept getting promotions, getting transferred. I ended up all the way in Waco.
Oh, wow.
So I retired from them. I decided, okay, I'm coming back to Austin again. I always want to come back home, Round Rock, Leander, Austin area. So came back here, and my mom and dad were very ill. So we decided to come and be with mom and dad and take care of their last years of their life, as well as my brother Pete. So he was in Del Rio, and with my mom and dad being very ill, they needed help. So
Right.
Pete actually retired from Kimberly-Clark and came to Leander. So now we're all living in Leander, and that's where we're deciding what are we going to do, and one night it was a holiday, and we went to, I'm not going to name the place, but there was like 20 of us. We're a big Italian family.
Big.
And we went and spent like $250 on food, and we went home, and after about an hour, everything was still sitting on the table. It was like 2 bites of this and that. And we decided, okay, we need a hamburger. We want to do the pizza.
Right,
we need
right,
the pizza.
right.
It was a pizza.
Right.
So the pizza didn't work out. So the second best was the hamburger, and we decided just to use my chef, my nephew Chris. My nephew Chris is a chef from
Oh, okay.
in Austin.
So
years ago.
he's the guy with the heavy culinary background,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
He's the
Gotcha.
brains of the food.
Gotcha.
He's
I
the
knew
one
there
that
was
came
someone
up-
in there. I knew there was someone in the mix.
He came up with the poblano
Uh-huh.
and the hatch chili pepper. He does all the specials, so he's
Special
the
for
brains.
him, yeah.
Yeah, so he gets all the credit for that.
That's cool.
So,
That's cool.
you know,
It's great to have that type of skill set in the family, especially
Yes.
doing what you guys do.
And we put all three of us together with all different skill sets. Like I said, my brother Pete, he's in manufacturing, so he's got the mechanical and be able to fix things and set up just mechanics of everything and how everything lays. We have experience in laying out kitchens, but he's a little more technical than
Right,
we are,
right.
and so that's his big part. And then he does a lot of other business parts of it, real estate and all that kind of stuff. And I do like the management as far as, like I say, was with HEB, I had like 40 people working for me. And then Chris, of course, is the in-store person. So he takes care of the in-store. And so that's the brains as far as the way the food is made.
That's super cool. That's super cool because I was looking at this and I was like, okay, where does this come from? Because the burgers are not ordinary. Okay, I think that's an easy way to talk about it. They're not ordinary burgers. They're a little culinary delight, if you will, because they're special. There's a lot of flavor palettes in there and stuff like that you guys do, and you don't do it all the time, which is what makes it really cool. Because you go, like, I have not yet been able to go back and get another Hatch burger. It's been that long. I keep going back. I miss it every year. I was like, what happened? Anyway, no, I'm looking forward to that. Actually,
And the reason why you miss it is because we only use fresh hatch chilies.
right.
A lot of people say, just buy them in the freezer.
No. What other kind is there?
No.
I grew up in El Paso. I know Hatch chili. You bring them in, you eat them.
and then you're done. And then next year we'll get some more.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how we do
Exactly.
it.
That's crazy. That's so cool. So I did want to talk a little bit about some of the things that you guys do from a business perspective. And I know that with the HR stuff, you guys are hiring again, I think. I think I saw an employment sign. So mostly local, right? Do you guys tend to hire more like high school kids and stuff like that, or
So we do have a lot of high school kids that will work on the weekends or work after school. I think it's really fun bringing kind of the younger crowd in because it's their first job, and then they learn a lot from it, and then they really like it. We do have, we kind of have all ages, of course, but we do work with a lot of younger high school students.
Right, so good shifts and gives you guys a good coverage, because I know you're not open like all the time. You do close. So I think you just recently opened again on Sundays.
Yeah, we're open 7 days now. We do close early on Sunday. It close at 7. We don't want to be open late. We want to give our teams family time. So we only open from 11 till 7 on Sunday, and then they're home by 8:30 on Sunday night. And we close at 8 at Sharksburger 1 over there at 8, and then they're out by 9. So it's not like a restaurant where you go and you're up to 1 or 2 in the morning. And I'm sure you know about it, being the culinary. You close at 11, then you clean for 3 hours, and by the time it's like, oh my God, you're dead and beat. It's 2:30 in the morning. We didn't want that. We wanted a fun place, come to work hard, go home early, come in late, go in early. So that's the atmosphere and the culture we wanted to build as a family thing. So we do hire a lot of young people, but we do have some middle-aged people for our leadership. So we do hire all ages, yes.
No. Good. This wasn't an HR test, by the way. I know when I go into the store, it's kind of like, and it's varied. It depends on when I go.
Yeah, it depends on when you go.
And I show up, and there'll be some people there that I recognize, and sometimes I go in there and I don't know any of them. So
yes, for sure. A lot of the employees that we have been with us for, I think at this store when we opened in May, was it May last year? That a lot of the employees we hired in May are still with us, including the younger crowd. So it's nice. I get to learn more about them, ask them about how school is and stuff like that. So help them with homework if they need it, stuff like that.
So you're running any of your thesis papers? You're starting your writing now, getting ready? Because you're a couple years in at UT?
Yeah. So I am after this semester, which is 3 weeks. It's over in 3 weeks. I'll be a senior, so I'll graduate next May.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck on that.
Yeah, we can't wait for her to graduate so we can get her full time. Yeah, she takes a lot of burden off of me.
I can imagine.
There's so many little things that has to be done in a business that people don't even realize.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's time consuming. So she came on and was like, "Oh, thank you, Valarie. I can do that. I can do that." I'm like, "Wow, I thought I was the only one who could do that." But so she takes a big burden off of me. So we can't wait to.
No, especially with that skill set. My dad was HR his whole career. Back dinosaurs and stuff like that. But anyway, no. So I know. From her, I grew up in an HR family, so I know. I kind of have a familiarity with that, and so it's a very noble profession, in my opinion.
It's a tough business.
It's a tough business. It's a very tough business. It's not easy, and there's a lot of really bad HR managers out there. Okay.
Yes.
I'm not talking to anybody specifically right now, but anyway.
That's kind of also why I wanted to go into HR. There's the stigma of bad HR. You don't want to go to HR. HR is bad, So I kind of wanted to be someone that is I know I can go to HR about this because she'll take care of it, or because I'm confident that she'll be able to help me. So that's really why I wanted to get into HR.
Very cool. Good on you.
Thank you.
All right, so Dino, one last thing I wanted to touch on, and I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on this because I think the subject has honestly been talked about a lot. But I know that you did obviously have to make some adjustments during the pandemic.
Yes.
And I read that you were, you did benefit from some grants and some PPP loans and stuff like that. So can you give me a little bit of what that looked like for you? Because I did a little bit of the same in my small business.
Okay.
Now, I took advantage of it because it was there, and it gave me an opportunity to keep doing what I was doing because I just started at that point.
So we released this place last February. So as you know, the COVID started the end of February, 1st of March. So when we got this location, we were like, okay, we're all gung-ho, and so everything came to a halt. So there was rent to be paid, there was remodeling, there was just all kinds of stuff that needed to be done. But the business started going down as well over on Hero Way. So we were kind of into a corner, and then we weren't prepared. We did have a little online, but we didn't have the systems. So to be proper curbside online, everything we're doing now, we weren't doing last year. So yes, we did. Basically, the PPP loan really saved us. I want to say, because it was crazy. People weren't able to work. We were shutting down for weeks at a time. Somebody came in and said, hey, my neighbor was positive. We shut the place down. We'd be down shut for a week. Okay, everybody good, everybody tested, everybody come back to work. And then 2 weeks later, hey, this person, okay, we shut down for a couple more weeks. So, but the bill still came in. And like I said, this place had to get open. It had to be open. We had to keep that one open. We paid everybody, whether we're open or shut last year. We took care of everybody. None of our employees, our family, we call them family members, none of them missed a paycheck, missed a payday. We made sure they were taken care of. It wasn't their fault.
Right.
So it wasn't our fault either.
Right.
But we were able to get through that PPP. It wasn't a huge amount because we're not a huge company.
Right.
It was a little amount, but with that little amount, kind of
Sure. No.
going.
I completely relate to that because again, it was I was very much in the same boat, and I had actually at this point I have pivoted my business. Okay, but at that point I was just starting out, and I was like, okay, what am I going to do because I have to pay for stuff, and I've got no revenue coming in, and everything was canceling, and it was crazy. It was crazy. So kudos to you for making sure that everybody was taken care of.
Everyone's got families.
Absolutely.
Right? And we're like, okay, so we're a small business, but we got 25 families. I mean, we're not just people, they're families. There's people that take care of kids, husbands, wives. I mean, they're dependent on us, and, we're like, we can't just do that to them. So we were blessed. We thank God we were able to do that, and so that was a good thing.
Well, I think it speaks volumes for the culture that you're creating with this institution, and I think it's always struck me as such. I mean, again, I'm a consumer, and when I come to your restaurant, whether it's here or over on Hero, it's always very nice. It's a very good experience every single time.
That's good to hear.
It really
That's
is.
really
I
good
mean,
to hear.
honestly,
That's what we created.
I was trying to think of did I ever get burnt tots or anything like that? No, it's always really good. It's always really good.
And we do make mistakes, right?
No, absolutely. I expect
we
it.
always try to make it right. with
Trust
everyone.
me. Again, I grew up in hospitality. That's where I cut my teeth, and so I get that. It's that whole servant leadership to ensure that the other person is taken care of before you do anything for yourself. And it shows. I mean, I think, again, your business is one that I've noted, and I was excited. I really was excited to meet you and talk to you because I'm a fan from that perspective. So, a couple of other things. You do a lot of community service stuff. I want to make sure and mention that for the folks. So you support, and there was one that I caught, the Leaders of the Week. That one was one that really kind of struck me as unique. So help me understand what that is.
About the school?
I guess this is the school Leaders of the Week, right?
Yeah, this is Baghdad. So what we do is with the schools, we offered it. Baghdad does it. We have 4 schools that do it. We offer it to all the schools in Leander. So we give a coupon or a certificate to the Leaders of the Week. So one for every grade. So it'd be 6 per week per school. And what you do as the teacher or the administrators, they decide who's who's better attitude this week or better in math, or just anybody that's shown any kind of achievement that they're doing better than they did and have been, right? Is that how you
something
put
that
it?
sets them apart from the other kids.
Yes.
So, and they used to do it, I believe, with Mighty Fine. So they kind of have transitioned into incorporating us into their schools.
Very cool.
It gets them a free kids meal.
Sure.
And then and they get excited. My brother goes to Baghdad, and so he has said, other kids get excited when they get that Leadership of the Week award. So
Yeah, no, it's great motivation. Especially, I work in, again, I told you I work in SAS software. The company I work with does gamification software. So we gamify process.
Gotcha.
So if you're in a sales process, which is what we concentrate on, we make that a game. We turn it into a game. And those little motivational pushes are probably more important than the leaderboard at the end of the day. Just the person who's taking initiative or done something that, you want to recognize it. That honestly, and I can go on and on about the psychology of all of that, okay? So you guys are on the right track there, too. All right, well, I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to some of the live music. I've noticed you started that recently as well, so that'll be fun.
We do that on occasion. We'll bring some live music out here. It's kind of fun. When the weather's getting right, things are getting a little bit more relaxed, and we'll get some live music out here.
Sure, I don't sing, but I know a few singers.
One of our employees is actually really, really good at singing. And so we're looking to get him potentially over the summer to kind of put something out there for
nice.
us. So that'll be kind of exciting to
He's
have
got
one of our
little
own
bands.
employees. Yeah, he's really great.
He's got a little band going on, yeah. So
Very
that's
cool.
pretty good.
Well, good for you guys.
Yeah, so, yeah, as far as the community, we do teachers, police, fire. We support all those
Military.
veterans, military. Those are the 4 things. We get hit by a lot of people that want a lot of stuff. And
I'm sure.
The first year, we just went crazy. And the second year, we said, well, we got to decide who we want, what we want.
Right.
And, but we will, the teachers, I mean, we do a lot of the teachers appreciation week. We got a couple of those coming up the next couple of weeks, and we take care of the teachers. Yeah, just stuff like that, because we care about our community.
No, I think-
because they take care of us. They're the ones who
Absolutely.
blessed us to be where we're at.
I think you hit on a real good note there, and it's one of the things that I try to do with what I'm doing with the podcast is really feature local Leander specific stuff. Because there's a lot of, I mean, it's not to say anything, bad about, like you mentioned, like McDonald's or Burger King or whatever.
Right.
But when you do it locally, like the way you guys are doing, you build it from scratch, not only the business but the burgers, that's unique. And small business is what really kind of creates that solid backbone of a local community. And I think it's super, super important to focus on that. So I appreciate you guys spending some time with me here today, talking a little bit. I think we're going to go back to the kitchen and maybe make a burger.
Let's do it.
All right, awesome. Let's
All right,
do
so
that.
we're at the Grand Central here of Sharks Burgers. Back in the back of the house. Dino's back here with me once again. And this is really awesome. I really appreciate Dino letting me get the chance to show you folks where the magic is made. So this was it was David, right? David is cooking up the burgers here, and as you can see, it's a nicely compact area. Kind of make sure that we can work efficiently through the process of fixing up a couple of burgers. And as previously mentioned, there's Val strapping on an apron in the back and throwing out the toss, I think. So this is really cool. I appreciate you doing this. Look at that wonderful burger. So which one is which, guys?
So this one's our jalapeno draft jalapeno burger. This one's our Philly burger, and this one is our great white cheddar bacon.
There's all the-
So I wanted to wrap things up here at the OG Sharks Burger over on Hero. This is where I had my first Sharks Burger, and I'm sure plenty of you have had yours as well. So I want to thank Dino, Valarie, and the rest of the gang from Sharks Burger. I hope you guys have enjoyed this first episode of Dine in Leander, and we'll stick around for the future episodes where I'll feature some of the other restaurants here in the greater Leander area. Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it, and hope to see you next time on Lean in Leander.